Henry Cavill is one actor who's nabbed quite a few notable acting roles over the past few years. From Superman to Geralt of Rivia, he's never failed to amaze audiences with his performances. But due to his leaving two of his most notable roles around the same time, some people are questioning what he's really like to work with, and think that perhaps the real reason why he's leaving big projects is that he's too difficult to work with. So, is Cavill as kind and hardworking as he appears to fans? Or is the reason why he stepped down from a few of his biggest roles way deeper than we originally thought? Let's hear some actors talk about what it's really like to work with Henry Cavill. But first, we should probably go over some basic info about the actor. Cavill began his acting career in the early 2000s, working mostly on TV series and films for television. But although he started out all the way back then, he didn't get his big break until his role as Charles Brandon, 1st Duke of Suffolk, in the TV series The Tudors. This was his very first big role, and he even got a decent amount of critical acclaim for it. The role in The Tudors was the beginning of what would soon be an exciting and successful career. His next big role is one that we all know and love. Superman, of course. He first played the world-famous superhero in 2013's Man of Steel. But as we all know, he went on to appear as Clark Kent in a handful of future DC movies as well. In fact, it wasn't until recently that the role was taken away from him. More on that later. For now, let's get back to Cavill's career. Naturally, the role of Superman landed him a ton of new fans. Pretty much everyone was highly in favor of Cavill in the role. This resulted in him getting more and more opportunities. And this is really where his career began to flourish. Then, in 2018, Cavill was set to make his debut as Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher. Once the Netflix show was released, his starring role made him an even bigger name than ever before. He was now practically a household name, and he had not one, but two fan-favorite characters under his belt. Another notable role of his from the past few years is his role as Sherlock Holmes in the Enola Holmes films. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the story of how Henry Cavill got to where he is today. Now, the actor has a net worth of $50 million, and he's also in the running to be the next James Bond. Through his amazing portrayals in major franchises like The Witcher and the DCEU, he's become a hugely successful actor, and his career is flourishing. However, just recently, a few major changes in his career life came all at once. In October of 2022, the actor announced that he would be stepping down from his role in the TV series The Witcher. And honestly, this news was pretty shocking, especially considering he's the main character in the show. Plus, the show is doing really well. So why would he back out? Well, the news came at the same time as yet another announcement. Around the same time, Cavill announced that he was happily continuing his portrayal of the Man of Steel himself. He said that he was super excited to be holding on to the role for the next few DCEU projects that will feature Superman. But what does this have to do with The Witcher? I'll tell you what. Cavill said that since he was confirmed to be fully booked and busy with the newest DC projects, he'd had to make a difficult choice. He decided that he would step down from his starring role in The Witcher in order to move forward with DC. I know, pretty shocking, right? Now, I'll tell you something even more shocking than that. And if you're a big DC fan, you might already know this, but just 2 months after Henry Cavill confirmed he would be keeping his role as Superman, it was announced that the team over at DC decided to let the actor go in favor of someone else. Wait, what? Yeah. Basically, when James Gunn took over as one of the co-CEOs of DC Studios, he decided to completely change the studio's approach to their projects. This resulted in the current timeline of films being completely scrapped, and Gunn fired Cavill in hopes of replacing him with a younger actor for a new series of Superman films. Crazy, right? Well, unsurprisingly, this actually stirred up a lot of drama. Both fans of The Witcher and Cavill's portrayal of Superman were livid that he had been removed from both projects. Obviously, when it came to DC, we knew why he had been taken out. But since the explosive announcement from the studio, fans began wondering if things weren't as they seemed. Rumors that Henry Cavill had been fired from The Witcher became widely circulated. People were even saying that Cavill had been fired because of inappropriate and derogatory behavior towards female staff members. Then came the talk about his so-called gaming addiction and how it was ruining his work relationships. But was any of that true? And what is it really like to work with the actor? Well, thanks to some insider reports and statements from some of his past co-workers, we might just have an answer. First of all, let's get one thing straight. Cavill was not fired from The Witcher. The original belief that he quit because he wanted to continue playing Superman is actually true. It was just a cruel twist of fate that he was unexpectedly fired from the gig right after. But anyway, what's he like to work with then? Are any of the rumors true? Here's what we know. Well, it's kind of undecided as of right now. In general, people say that Cavill is great to work with, one of the best in the industry. But since talk about a split from The Witcher began, some articles have come out detailing some anonymous opinions about him. Basically, they say that his gaming addiction affected his work, and throughout the course of filming for The Witcher, he got more and more difficult. Plus, they claim that he wasn't a fan of the direction the show took the OG video game story. But this is all hearsay. Let's talk about some actual proof that he's a good guy. For example, his friendships. Like any actor, Henry Cavill has had the opportunity to meet a ton of new and exciting people. And sometimes, these people can turn out to be super good friends. Cavill is close friends with a number of other actors. But one of the most notable is Chris Evans. Apparently, the two regularly play video games with one another, and they've gotten really close over the years. Although they haven't worked together, this shows that at least some people in the industry think he's an alright guy. Anyway, let's hear what cinematographer Roman Lacourbas had to say about working with Cavill filming The Witcher. Apparently, Cavill is incredibly hardworking. Lacourbas had nothing but good things to say about the actor. He said that he was inspired by Cavill's work ethic and his contributions both on and off screen. Plus, when the actor had a big leg injury, he didn't quit the job. Instead, he worked even harder so that he wasn't dragging the rest of the cast and crew down. Overall, he said that he got on really well with Cavill, and that the former Superman was super hardworking, but also really kind to everyone around him, which is a far cry from the bold claims of those other viral articles. While we don't know whether Cavill and his quote video game addiction really caused trouble on any set, what we do know is his reputation. He's generally known to be a very kind and polite actor who works tirelessly on any set he's on. And the quotes from one of The Witcher's cinematographers just reinforces that. So, what do you think? At the end of the day, it's really up to you who to believe. Since there are so many conflicting reports about Cavill's overall demeanor, it's hard to really know for sure what he's actually like. But we can only hope that he's the nice guy so many people say he is. That's what it's really like working with Henry Cavill.